Have you ever felt like something was off in a relationship but couldn't quite put your finger on it? Maybe it's the way she talks to you, the things she says. Well, let me tell you this. If she says any of these 5 things, run. And I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm saying this to protect you. These aren't just innocent phrases. They're warning signs of behaviors that can destroy your peace, confidence, and even your future. Too many people ignore these signs, thinking it'll get better, only to pay the price later. I've seen this happen to so many people. Maybe you've experienced it yourself. Someone says something, and it doesn't sit right with you, but you brush it off because you care about them, or you don't want to cause conflict. You tell yourself it's not a big deal. But here's the hard truth. What you ignore today could become the reason for your unhappiness tomorrow. In this video, we're going to talk about the subtle ways manipulation, disrespect, and control show up in relationships, sometimes in ways you might not even notice at first. These 5 phrases may sound small, but they carry a lot of weight. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to watch for, how to recognize these red flags, and most importantly, how to take action to protect yourself. Red flag number 1. If you loved me, you would. This is one of the most common and subtle manipulation tactics out there. It's a phrase that sounds innocent on the surface, but carries a heavy emotional punch. When someone says, "If you loved me, you would," they're trying to tie your love for them to a specific action, one that benefits them, often at your expense. Let's break it down. Love is not a test, and it's not something you prove by sacrificing your values, priorities, or responsibilities. Let's say you've been working hard on an important project at work, and you have a big meeting the next day. Instead of supporting you, she says, "If you really loved me, you'd skip the meeting and spend time with me." On the surface, it might seem like she just wants your attention, but what's really happening here? She's using your feelings for her as leverage to make you choose her over something important in your life. You feel like no matter what you do, it's never enough. So how do you handle this? First, it's crucial to recognize the tactic for what it is: manipulation. Don't get defensive or engage in an argument. Instead, calmly set boundaries. You can say something like, "I care about you, and I want to spend time with you, but I also have responsibilities that are important to me." Love isn't about proving it with sacrifices. It's about supporting each other. Red flag number 2. I don't care what you think. Let's be clear. Communication is the lifeblood of any relationship. When someone dismisses your thoughts or feelings with a phrase like, "I don't care what you think," it's more than just rude. It's a direct sign that they don't respect your perspective. This kind of statement isn't just about winning an argument, it's about devaluing you as a person. It sends a clear message: your opinions don't matter to me. Why it's dangerous. The danger here isn't just in the words themselves, but in the long-term impact. When someone consistently dismisses your thoughts, it creates a pattern where you start doubting your own value in the relationship. Over time, you might stop sharing your ideas, opinions, or even your emotions because you feel they'll just be ignored. This isn't just about feeling silenced, it's about losing a sense of partnership. A relationship like this is inherently unbalanced. Red flag number 3, it's always your fault. Let's face it, disagreements and conflicts happen in every relationship. But how those conflicts are handled speaks volumes about the health of the relationship. When someone constantly says, "It's always your fault," they're refusing to take any accountability for their role in the situation. Instead of working together to resolve issues, they're shifting all the blame onto you, making you the scapegoat. This isn't just unfair, it's toxic. Why it's dangerous. Over time, this behavior creates a damaging cycle. 1. Guilt. You start to believe that everything going wrong really is your fault. 2. Resentment. You feel unappreciated and overwhelmed by the constant blame. 3. Self-doubt. You begin to second-guess your actions and decisions, even in situations where you're not at fault. This type of emotional manipulation undermines your confidence and creates a toxic dynamic where the relationship feels one-sided and unfair. How to spot this behavior? Consistent blame. No matter the situation, she never acknowledges her role in the problem. Gaslighting. If you try to explain your perspective, she might twist the narrative to make you doubt yourself. Emotional exhaustion. You constantly feel like you're walking on eggshells, afraid to mess up because you know you'll be blamed. Red flag number 4. You'll never find anyone better than me. This phrase might seem like a bold statement at first, but don't let it fool you. Beneath it lies a deep attempt to control you through fear and insecurity. When someone says, "You'll never find anyone better than me," they're not just being arrogant, they're actively trying to lower your self-esteem. This is not a compliment to themselves. It's a subtle way of telling you that you're not good enough to deserve more. Why it's dangerous? This phrase is dangerous because it plays on your insecurities. Over time, it can have a serious impact on your confidence and self-worth. Here's how. 1. It makes you second-guess yourself. You start to believe that maybe she's right, that no one else will love you or accept you the way she does. 2. It traps you in a toxic dynamic. Instead of leaving a relationship that isn't serving you, you stay because you're afraid of being alone or not finding someone better. 3. It fosters dependence. This phrase is often used to make you feel like she's your only option, which keeps the power imbalance firmly in her favor. How to recognize this manipulation? It often comes up during arguments or when you're considering leaving. She uses it to dismiss your concerns instead of addressing them. You feel more insecure after hearing it, rather than reassured or valued. Why healthy partners don't say this? In a healthy relationship, your partner will never feel the need to compare themselves to imaginary better options. They won't try to trap you with fear or make you feel like you're settling. Instead, they'll lift you up, encourage you to grow, and support your happiness, whether it's with or without them. A healthy partner knows that love isn't about control. It's about mutual respect and freedom. Red flag number 5. You're too sensitive. Hearing the words, "you're too sensitive," might not seem like a big deal at first, but let's dig deeper. This phrase is often used as a way to invalidate your emotions and dismiss your feelings entirely. Instead of addressing your concerns, it shifts the focus away from what hurt you and places the blame on you for feeling the way you do. Essentially, it's a way of saying, your feelings aren't important and the problem is you, not me. Why it's dangerous? This phrase is dangerous because it undermines your emotional confidence. Here's how it plays out over time. 1. You start doubting yourself. When your emotions are repeatedly dismissed, you begin to wonder if you're overreacting or being unreasonable too. You suppress your feelings. To avoid being labeled as too sensitive, you stop sharing how you feel altogether, which creates emotional distance. 3. It creates an imbalance of power. By dismissing your emotions, she positions herself as the rational one, while you're made to feel like the problem. This reinforces a dynamic where your voice is minimized. How to spot this manipulation pattern of dismissal? She regularly brushes off your concerns with phrases like, "You're overreacting," or "You're too emotional." Avoidance of accountability. Instead of addressing the issue, she shifts the focus to your reaction. Emotional exhaustion. You feel like you're walking on eggshells, afraid to express your feelings. Why healthy partners don't say this? In a healthy relationship, your partner will never invalidate your emotions, even if they don't fully agree with your perspective. They'll say things like, "I didn't realize that upset you. Let's talk about it." Or, "I hear you. How can we work through this?" A good partner doesn't see emotions as a weakness. They see them as an important part of understanding and connecting with each other. If this video resonated with you or opened your eyes to some red flags, don't keep this knowledge to yourself. Hit the like button so more more people can find this video, share it with a friend, a family member, or anyone who might be going through a difficult time in their relationship. Sometimes, one conversation or piece of advice can change the course of someone's life. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. This way, you'll never miss important content like this. And together, we can continue growing stronger. Here's what I want you to take away from this. Walking away from a toxic situation isn't a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength. It's a decision to put yourself first, to value your peace, and to respect your own boundaries.